Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Lindsay Gleason, and it is my privilege to serve as the chair of the Grand Rapids Public Museum Foundation Board of Trustees. Yeah. I'm so glad to be able to welcome you all to the 13th Annual Jay and Betty Van Andel Legacy Awards Gala. I'd also like to extend a very warm welcome to our friends who are watching virtually tonight.
Hello, everyone. My name's Jim Williams, and along with my other event co-chairs, we'd like to recognize those sponsors for this evening that makes all of this possible. So let's hold your applause till the end. Our title sponsor, Dave and Carol Van Andel Family Foundation. Ambassador sponsors, Amway Grand Plaza Hotel, Crystal Flash, Eileen DeVries Family Foundation, Kaplan and Leslie Jones, Steve and Amy Van Andel Foundation, Varnum Attorneys at Law. And our patron sponsors, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Chase Creative, Peter C. and Imogene Cook Foundation, Jim and Barb Haveman, JC and Tammy Heisinga, Jander Noah Foundation, and Williams Kitchen and Bath. And our media sponsor was 13 on Your Side. So we'd like to thank all of them and give them a nice round of applause for their support. Thank you.
We would also like to send out a big thank you to the Jay and Betty Van Andel Legacy Awards Gala Committee and the Museum Foundation Board of Trustees, whose dedication to the gala and the museum have made this all possible.
Yay. And so next, you may have heard the museum has some exciting updates planned for the future. With the growth of visitation and new programming, demand has exceeded our capacity of the current museum. So we are excited to move forward with a redesign and expansion project for the museum to grow into a state-of-the-art, universally accessible cultural institution for global learning. Ooh, yeah. This project will enhance our building, our operation, our programming, and of course our technology. So myself and Jim Haveman and Megan Rydecki will be chairing the project, and so we look forward to sharing more news about that coming soon.
All right. Thank you, Jim. I am so excited to see what the future holds for the museum, and I'm so grateful for your leadership and the leadership of Jim Haveman and Megan Rydecki as we take the next steps for this expansion project. But tonight we're here to celebrate our award recipients, George and Missy Sharp, Kaplan Jones, and the Sebastian Foundation. It is truly a privilege to be able to take this time to recognize these recipients for the impact their commitment and their vision have had on West Michigan and beyond. I also want to take a minute tonight to draw everyone's attention to another very cool thing happening under this roof. Last week, I had the opportunity to visit the Popnology exhibit upstairs. Jim, I loved everything about it, including seeing a real-life DeLorean like the one featured in the Back to the Future movies.
Wow. Absolutely. I mean, you know, you can't think of those movies without associating them with the DeLorean and Doc Brown, who turned that into a time machine.
Yeah, great Scott.
Yes, great Scott.
The Popnology exhibit truly immerses visitors into a world where popular culture and technology meet and showcases innovation in very many cool forms.
Well, did you know that many of the devices featured in Back to the Future movies predicted innovations and technology that are used today? Some items were computer tablets, Fitbits, and mobile payment technology like Apple Pay and Venmo, which of course we're using today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a few weeks ago when I was in my car, I heard an interview of a scientist, and she was asked if she's ever upset about the portrayal of things like space travel and the likes in science fiction movies. And I'll never forget her answer. She said, absolutely no, that doesn't upset her. In fact, she really is inspired by it because she said, no one has ever invented something without imagining it first. And I immediately thought of the museum and our motto, be curious. And it made me wonder what innovations and inventions that we'll see in the future because of our students who come here and the visitors to the museum who had this amazing opportunity to learn and to be inspired to be curious. The Popnology exhibit perfectly showcases how the ideas of creative thinkers can and do become reality.
And this is why the Grand Rapids Public Museum is integral to our lives. The museum encourages us to learn from our past, explore new ideas, dream about the future, and always be curious. Exhibits like Popnology help tell the story of who we are, where we're going, and help inspire the next big idea. And of course, we always like big ideas. So, in fact, let's all take a brief time travel trip and take a look at the video clip that comes from the first Back to the Future in 1985.
Okay, that was fun, but let's not watch the whole movie tonight.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to what really brought us here tonight. We are here to honor some very special people who join us in making the Grand Rapids Public Museum an amazing space in our community that inspires curiosity and encourages learning. So with that, I am delighted to introduce Dale Robertson, the museum's president and CEO, who will present our first award.
So thanks, Jim and Lindsay. So if you weren't going to see Popnology, you're inspired now, right? It's up on the third floor. Please make your way up there tonight and, see the actual DeLorean that we just saw the clip of. So I had the honor of presenting the first award this evening. It's the Casey Award. The Casey Award is named after Casey Wondergem. Casey, who passed away in 2010, helped shape Grand Rapids into the amazing city it is today. The award, in his honor, focuses and honors an individual or individuals whose action, involvement, and courage helps create and further a cause that benefits the community. It highlights public service and serves to inspire continued charitable activity. As longtime residents and graduates of Catholic Central High School, which means they're Cougars. Yeah. Missy and George Sharp believe in giving back to the Grand Rapids community. Along with their 4 children, the Sharp family puts their beliefs into action, whether it be with time, talent, treasure, or a combination of all 3. Missy and George are passionate about modeling to their children and to others the importance of living generously. George, who followed in his father's footsteps, became the general manager of Sharp Cars. And Missy is a full-time mother and experienced educator. George and Missy's support extends to the Grand Rapids Public Schools. Former Superintendent Teresa Weatherall-Neal is here tonight. Broadway Grand Rapids, and the Van Andel Institute. Missy and George are proud to be serving as the co-host for the VAI's 17th annual Winterfest celebration in this February 2022. In addition to their other generous activities, Missy and George have served in a variety of capacities here at the Grand Rapids Public Museum. This past spring, George offered his time and talent to the successful Collections and Cocktails event celebrating the museum's extensive and arguably largest in the nation furniture collection. So let's learn a little more about Missy and George.
The Grand Rapids Public Museum is a special place in itself because, growing up in Grand Rapids and having the history here, to have a place that can capture not only the history of Grand Rapids, but Michigan and beyond for that matter, it's important for us to treasure our past and understand our present.
The Grand Rapids Public Museum is a pillar of this town. Its presence on the Grand River, its family events that they host, and I just feel it's so innovative.
I believe that with the museum and with our community to cherish where we've been, to cherish our history. And so being connected to the museum with that belief, I felt the Collections and Cocktails Committee was a great way to do my part in helping the museum.
George and I are both from Grand Rapids, and we have such fond memories as children growing up in this awesome city, coming to the public museum in its old location, and now bringing our 4 kids here is just like reliving our childhood all over again. 3 of our 4 kids have attended the Grand Rapids Public Museum Immerse program. This is a program that the Grand Rapids Public Museum puts on for local schools, where they are brought to the museum for 5 consecutive days, and they are immersed in Michigan culture, traditions, and the absolute energy of the public museum. It's been a life-changing thing for our kids.
You know, the Grand Rapids Public Museum has an incredible venue. Everything on display here is only 5% of the overall archives or the overall contents. And the Collections and Cocktails Committee, or the event itself, I just think is an incredible opportunity, not only to fundraise for the museum, but to be able to bring that other 95% that's at the CARC to put on display for everyone to see the history and everything that has been here in Grand Rapids or Michigan on display and visible.
As I reflect back and think about the Grand Rapids Public Museum, all I can describe it as is a gem in the city. It's a place where I have childhood memories. It's a place where I brought my class every year as a teacher. And it's a place where I watched my 3 kids thrive in the Immerse program. It is a special place, and we are so grateful that it is a part of our city, Grand Rapids.
I feel very honored and humbled to be receiving this with my wife, Missy. And what I don't want to be left unsaid is that a great appreciation and gratefulness for the acknowledgement, and just a thank you to the museum and to the Van Andel family with this special honor. We both believe that, with our history here, this is our home, and supporting the community around us is very important to us. And it's been an honor to be able to do it in this way. And raising our family here, we can't imagine any other place and any different.
All right. So please welcome George and Missy Sharp to accept the Casey Award. I already got my fingerprints on it a little bit. Hey, you want to, this way? Okay, I guess come on over here.
Thank you, Dale.
You got to make sure you get some good photos, all right? Oh, wait, we got to wait for a photo. Come on back on up. This is just a better spot. There you go. Then you can go. Yeah. There we go. Pose there. All right, you can go either way. All right, congratulations, George and Missy. Well done. And now, to present the David and Carol Van Andel Leadership Award, please join me in welcoming Carol Van Andel.
Good job. Good evening, everyone. The Dave and Carol Van Andel Leadership Award is presented to an individual who demonstrates a commitment to the greater West Michigan region, supporting philanthropic organizations and contributing to the cultural, educational, and the economic health of West Michigan. I am pleased to announce that this year's recipient is Kaplan Jones, although we refer to him on the board as just Cap. Cap is a lawyer with Barnum Attorneys at Law, advising clients regarding business formation and transactions. He was named Grand Rapids Lawyer of the Year in the area of business organizations, including LLCs and partnerships, in the 2021 Best Lawyers Guide. Cap has played a valuable role in the Grand Rapids Public Museum. Cap volunteered his time and his talent by writing the Articles of Incorporation. Our new bylaws are current for the museum. He provided much needed legal support through the creation of the Grand Rapids Public Museum School. and also the fourth floor renovation and our successful millage campaign. Cap, you have done so much for the Public Museum, but there's one thing that stands out to me. You volunteered your time and your energy for 30 years. Congratulations. Now to hear from Cap in his own words.
I served as counsel for over 30 years for the museum. I attended board meetings regularly. I attended a few other committee meetings, drafted documents, contracts, reviewed contracts, consulted on a variety of issues. I'm Kaplan Jones. I'm just a regular guy. I've been married 44 years, have 5 kids, 12 grandkids, 3 granddogs, 1 grand snake who passed away recently. I've been with Varnum for 37 years, and it's been a great ride. So I got connected with the museum in the mid-1980s. Larry Titley had invited me to start coming to some meetings where they were exploring solutions for how to raise funds and invest them in a meaningful way at a time when the museum was owned by the city, and the city had limitations on how it could invest its funds. I filed the Articles of Incorporation, did the bylaws, and set up the nonprofit corporation that is now the Friends Foundation that gathered the money for the building of this beautiful building here, which we moved to in 1993. Before that, I remember being at 54 Jefferson, sitting in folding chairs when we had our board and committee meetings. In the early 2000s, the city had to start limiting its allocation to the museum. The city had previously provided funds in the range of $3 million and more, and they announced that they had to cut back and then phase out and pretty much get to zero. The philanthropy in Grand Rapids is very important. As a business lawyer, I observed that it was kind of like an economic cushion when we had recessions. We still had cranes, we had construction, we had building, we had a lot of activity going on here. And I think that's largely because of the philanthropic desires of this community to build a great community where we can learn together and be engaged together in great causes, especially at the museum. And it's a historical institution that's been around for well over 150 years. It's an educational place. It's a place for gathering, to stimulate curiosity and learning and community dialogue. Well, I would just like to thank the museum for giving me this opportunity to work with them. It's been a real pleasure. I am so thankful to have gotten to know their many wonderful staff people and board members. It's been a real pleasure to serve with them, to see the growth, to see some challenges and some difficult years, and see how they have planned and executed plans to rise above those. And I think they're on a great trajectory.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cap Jones. And now I'd like to introduce to you my husband, Dave Van Andel, for the next award.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to something normal. Right? Yeah! It only took us a year and a half to get here, but here we are. This is great. Nice to see half of you I recognize. Get it? From the eyes up. Okay, never mind. It's late in the night. I'm here to present the last award. And one of the things that I want to note is that West Michigan, Michigan and West Michigan especially, are very unique places to live. West Michigan has been blessed, I guess is the best way to put it, with so many different people and families and organizations that have made it a special place to live. It didn't happen by accident. And philanthropy is a big part of who we are in West Michigan. Fortunately, we've been blessed with a lot of great entrepreneurs and a lot of great organizations and businesses that have taken root in West Michigan and also been the largesse distributed in West Michigan. The Jay Betty Van Andel Award is here to recognize those individuals, regardless of where they're from, for their impact on the community, our community, the community that we call home, that we're proud to have grown up in, we're proud to have lived and worked and played in, but we're also proud to show off when others come to visit. West Michigan is just one of those places that when you experience it, you want to be there. And the Jay Betty Van Andel Award this year has chosen the Sebastian Foundation to be the recipient of this award. Now, more specifically, though, we want to make sure that you understand that we're going to recognize really the founders of the Sebastian Foundation. And it's Audrey and James Sebastian who started the foundation quite some time ago. Now, if you don't know the Sebastians, you should. And there's a little company that's just up the hill on Michigan Avenue here called Rapistan. It started out making these odd little things that if you're in the distribution business, you understand are very important to the work that we do. And I got to say to the family before John comes up here in a little bit, you guys missed Amazon by that much, you know? Would have been an awesome account to have, I got to tell you that. But they started this company out of nothing and came up with the idea and built it here in West Michigan, eventually calling it Rapistan and eventually selling it, but more importantly, taking the money that they've earned over their lifetime and putting it into a foundation that they were willing to share with their community. And the Sebastian Foundation, they support all kinds of things. I mean, I can't even get to the level of number of things that they do, but they're part of the fabric of West Michigan. You know, we know the big names, but we also know them. Those of us that live here understand the importance of all of these people making their contributions to it as well. And I thought we would just take a few moments and learn a little bit about James and Audrey from John. If we could play that.
The foundation has been a supporter of the museum since 1982 when we helped with the refurbishing of the carousel. And it was set up because to try and level out the highs and lows of the capital goods industry. My father, James Ray Sebastian, was born and raised in Albion, Michigan. He was a graduate of Albion College in 1932. And after graduating from college, he went out to Arizona, did a year of graduate school. Then he came back to work for the Service Caster Company. After a few months, he decided that he would start his own caster business. So he rented the second shift of the Falling Drop Forge Company in Manistee, Michigan. The company grew in Manistee. Later, it merged with the Rapids Handling Company of Grand Rapids, and it became the Rapids Standard Company. When the company was sold in 1980, it became the Sebastian Foundation. So the foundation focused originally on education and then expanded into arts, food, housing, and healthcare. So we were approached in 1982 about the carousel. I think maybe that was probably the first instance where we were asked to help out. We started out with the gift to help with the carousel, and then we were involved in many of the capital campaigns since that time. And then more recently, we've been very excited about the Immerse program and also the museum school program because of our primary interest in education. First, thank you for presenting the foundation with this award. It's been our privilege to be able to support the museum, and we're excited about the programs they have now, especially Immerse and the public school program. It's important for us to give to the museum so that the museum can continue its programs of looking to the past, to inspire curiosity, bring the community together, and educate future generations. My dad felt that because the company grew in this community, that we had a lot of employees that helped grow this company, that this was the area that he wanted to focus on, was to try and give back to the city of Grand Rapids.
To accept on behalf of the Sebastian Foundation, please welcome John Sebastian to the stage for me. I'm not going to direct you off the stage. We're going to stay on the stage and get a picture. Can we do that?
Yep. Can I say a few words?
Yes, you can.
All right, thank you very much.
I would be remiss if you didn't say a few
All
words,
right.
please.
I want to thank the museum for this award, but I also want to thank the over 100 nonprofits that we were able to help since 1952. And how fortunate are we to be in a community where people see a need, they go out and help raise funds, they hire staff, they get volunteers, and they provide a service or a product for people in need in our community. Now, secondly, I want to talk about the best hire my father ever made. Sitting at our table tonight is Linda Jones. Linda started working for our company at Rapistan in 1973. She was probably a teenager then, but she was the backbone of the foundation, did all the administrative work, helped with us in evaluating the different requests that we received, was a trustee of the foundation, and after 48 years, she decided that maybe it's time to move on. But she became a part of the family, and I just want to thank Linda for all the years of service. Thanks, David.
48 years, wow, congratulations. I also want to say another great thank you and congratulations to our awardees tonight, George and Missy and Cap, congratulations, and the Sebastian Foundation. Thank you very much for being part of the museum and the support that you've given to the museum over the years. So now, without further ado, it is my privilege and pleasure to bring to the stage Megan Radicki and Dormika Oppenheisen to carry forward with a few more remarks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Megan Radecki, member of the Grand Rapids Public Museum Foundation Board of Trustees.
And I'm Dormika Oppenheisen, also a member of the Foundation Board, and also I serve on the Grand Rapids Public Museum's Board of Directors. Those of us who are close friends of the museum know what an incredible asset it is for our community, and why it's so important and so critical that all of us support the museum. But if you are a new friend to this great institution, let me share a few thoughts. Every year, 30,000 students have the opportunity to experience all that we have to offer through guided and self-guided tours, field trips, summer camps, and more. During the past 27 years, the museum has hosted more than 40 exhibits, including Titanic, their Artifact Expedition Dinosaur, Bodies Revealed, which I know is a Grand Rapids favorite, Dead Sea Scrolls, Toys, my family's personal favorite, Ralph W. Hohenstein, A Life of Leadership, and our newest exhibit, which I hope all of you experience today, Popnology. We also have one of the largest collections in the state with over 250,000 artifacts and specimens. The museum is committed to inspiring curiosity and creating opportunities for inclusive learning for all ages, learning styles, and abilities. And yes, we are going to ask for your support for our mission tonight.
But before we do that, we're thrilled to tell you that your donations tonight will be matched up to $20,000 with the help of our friends, the Eileen DeVries Family Foundation, Jim and Sue Williams, and Jim and Deb Haveman. Let's thank our friends for their support in this way. So there are cards on your table. Go ahead and take a look and find those. Do you have? I think we have one. Dormika has one to show here. I ask that you take a minute right now to go ahead and fill them out. For some, we hope you will consider giving at a level of $1,000 and join our Curiosity Club. Or maybe you'll make a first gift to the museum of $100, which will become $200 as a result of tonight's match. No matter what amount, you are helping the museum continue to provide unique educational experiences and resources to the community. You can place your donation information in the purple envelopes, and museum staff will be walking around to collect your envelopes. Thank you so much for your investment in our future tonight.
So, as our formal part of the evening comes to a close, we want to thank you for joining us in honoring the Jay and Betty Van Andel Legacy Gala awardees. If you need another drink, please see a server, and they will be able to assist you. Thank you again for spending your evening with us at the museum, and please visit Popnology on the 3rd floor. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.